Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Neale Donald Walsch, most well known for his series of books called Conversations with God. Really well worth getting into them. If you've never read them, get a hold of them. You will not be sorry. Hey Sunmary, good morning. Linda, good morning. Hello, beautiful humans. Let's get into today's message. Your life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. Every circumstance, every relationship, every opportunity that shows up in your world is a direct reflection of the thoughts and beliefs that you carry within. Your thoughts and beliefs are 100% responsible for the trajectory of your life. This is a reminder that you can take responsibility for the thoughts and beliefs that you create. And then when you have created new thoughts and beliefs, well, then you've also created a new mind. A new way of thinking. When you have changed the thoughts and beliefs that you have, you've created a whole new personality. Let's get into Neale Donald Walsch's thoughts for today. He says, what you hope, you will eventually believe. What you believe, you will eventually know. What you know, you will eventually create. What you create, you will eventually express. What you express, you will eventually become. This is the formula for all of life. He says you are the creator of your reality, and life can show up in no other way for you than that way in which you think it will. He says it is all a question of perception. When you change your perception, you change your thought, and your thought creates your reality. Whatever outcome you could anticipate in any situation is already there for you, all of it. The last thought from Neale Donald Walsch today is, by changing your perception, your awareness, and your actions, you create yourself new again and again. I want to read that last one more time. If you do the work to change the way you see things, changing your perception, changing your awareness, changing your actions, if the way you see things changes and the actions you take change, well, then you create yourself new again and again. Charlene, good morning. It's great seeing you. Hello. Even though we recognize that changing our thinking will change our lives, most people find themselves in a state from where it seems impossible to change their thoughts. This is because your thoughts are your reality. And while you are being those thoughts, you are trapped in the reality created by your mind. In order to change your thoughts, your beliefs, your perception, you have to first become familiar with exactly what all of those old thoughts and beliefs are. It's only through a process of learning how to take a step back and looking at the thoughts, looking at the beliefs. That's when you are no longer being those thoughts, no longer being those beliefs. And now that you can clearly see your own thinking as it happens, now you're empowered to say, hang on a moment. This is an old thought, an old story that I don't wish to keep repeating. From now on, I will respond in a new way every time this old thought shows up. Meditation is the most powerful way to cultivate your own ability to become the witness to your thoughts. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep changing your inner reality and watch as your outer reality starts changing as well. Today's meditation is called The Observer, and it is simply this: taking a step back and becoming the witness to the thoughts, the perceptions, the beliefs, and then saying, perhaps I want to see this differently. Perhaps I want to respond to this differently. And as you see differently, respond differently, act differently, you are creating yourself anew, again and again. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll slip away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Here we go. Take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and let it go. A deep inhale and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. With every inhale, become aware of every cell in your body rising. With every exhale, become aware of every cell in your body falling. Our meditation today is called The Observer. So let's have a conversation about what that means. What does it mean to be the observer, the witness? In Buddhism, there is a term for this called the naked observer, or wisely seeing. I find both of these terms really useful. The naked observer tries to make a point. It tries to highlight that this observing, this seeing, this witnessing should be purely that, seeing, without assigning good or bad, right or wrong to what you're seeing. That's why it's called naked observing. That would be like putting a video camera on a tripod and hitting the record button. Take a moment to remind yourself of what this camera is doing. It is purely taking in the information, observing. The camera itself is not making any judgment about what it's seeing. It's not making anything right or wrong, good or bad. It is just seeing what's in front of it. When I was a lot younger, encountering this for the first time, it didn't make sense to me to just put judgment down and just observe. Everything within me wanted to say yes but right and yes but wrong. This brings us to the next term, wisely seeing. Wisely seeing knows that the moment judgment interjects itself in what we're seeing, we are actually limiting what we're seeing. We're squeezing what we're seeing into a small box that's already made conclusions. Wisely seeing knows that we can eventually still decide what we want to do about what we're seeing. We don't have to just accept everything. We can choose to take action if that's what's necessary. But as the Serenity Prayer reminds us, whether to act or not requires wisdom. And wisely seeing asks, for now, just see. Put down the judgment, because when you judge, you will see less. For now, just see everything. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left. And lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I'll remind you that the topic of our journey today is the observer, being able to take a step back and see you without judgment, without criticism, just seeing what is there. And I know that not everyone visualizes exactly the same way. But just try it out for a moment as you take your next big breath. As you dive deep into you, imagine you could take a step away from yourself and see yourself sitting there. Take your next big breath. I want you to find an example as recent as possible, but it's not important that it's recent. If you don't find anything recent, then yes, search further back. An example of a moment where, if you look back on it, your own reaction to something or someone was probably not the wisest reaction. Probably not taken in wisdom, but more reactive, perhaps an overreaction. Can you remember such an example? With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, see if you can find it. Something which in hindsight, if you had to do that again, you'll probably respond in a slightly different way. Take a moment and find that example. Take your next big breath. And I want to remind you again of those two Buddhist terms: naked awareness, wisely seeing. For a moment, I want you to imagine your own reaction in that experience was captured on CCTV footage. Some security camera captured that moment, and now you're going to watch that video. You're going to be watching the video of you reacting in a way that was perhaps not helpful. Naked awareness asks us to just put down the judgment, put down the good or bad, either in yourself or in the other person. Could we imagine for a moment that no one is good or bad? Everyone's just trying. And the other term, wisely seeing. Because if we are wisely seeing, it won't be too difficult to recognize what would have been a wiser response. Simply see the room for improvement, but without any judgment. As you take your next big breath, dive deep into you. Take a look at this security camera footage again, seeing you in that moment reacting. And to try and make the picture just a little bit clearer, could you perhaps remember what you were wearing? It's not important that you do. Choose something if you can't remember. But try and get as clear an image of you reacting as you can. Take your next big breath. So as you're replaying this moment, I want you to pause on the moment just before you reacted, before you said anything, before you did anything, that moment before your reaction. Pause the screen there. The question is, where did your mind go? Where did your thoughts go before you reacted? What were the thoughts going through your mind, and where did they lead you before the reaction? It's often really helpful to understand that your reaction was probably, at least to some degree, protective, trying to protect you against something or trying to protect someone against something. So imagine you could ask that version of you, the one on the video screen. Imagine you could ask that person a question just before the reaction. Ask the person, where did your thoughts just go? Describe your thoughts to me. What is it that you're afraid is going to happen? What is the thing you're trying to prevent? Now just imagine having that conversation with yourself before you reacted. What would you have said? Take your next big breath. So while we're applying naked awareness, we're not judging anything, we're not criticizing anything. Something we're never aware of in the moment when we are triggered and we react is we are never aware of our body language, how we come over, and our facial expression. Sometimes, even though we might just be trying to make a point, we might not realize how harsh our facial expression and body language has become. And while we think we're making a point, we might look like we're about to attack someone. Again, put down judgment, put down criticism, but take a moment as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you to see if you can possibly recognize what was your body language in that moment. What was your facial expression as you spoke or acted? Take your next big breath. So now we're putting that visualization of the past event down. We are done looking at that for the moment. Put it down. We are creating a new visualization. From looking backwards into the past, we are now going to look forward into the future. We're going to rehearse and say, imagine the same situation plays out again, the same set of circumstances. How would I want to respond differently? Would there be a wiser way for me to respond, something that might be more helpful to the situation? Now, I want to remind you that your brain does not really know the difference between an event that actually happened or an event that you made up in your mind, an image, a visualization in your imagination. To your brain, seeing this play out is very much the same as it actually happening. This means you can practice. You can practice in your mind how you want to do this differently. And your brain will build the neural pathways to make that happen. It also means that when we look at the past and we reinterpret the past in a healthier, more empowering way, if we do it enough times, that past starts sitting differently within us because your brain does not know the difference. So let's look into the future. Imagine the same event happens again. This time, before you react, when you catch your thoughts, where they're going, when your thoughts become protective and a part of you believes that something needs to be done here to protect you, to protect someone else, just imagine you could stop yourself in that moment and have a conversation. What would the voice of wisdom want to say to you in that moment before you react? What would wisdom want to tell you? Have this conversation now. Speak to you in that moment and tell yourself what wisdom wants you to know before you react. Take your next big breath. And now, what would you want your response to be? What is it that you, in wisdom, rather want to say or do if you had the chance to do this again? Rehearse it right now. Take your next big breath. And then if you could, right now, design what your body language would look like in that moment when you speak or act. If you could design what your facial expression would look like when you speak or act, what would that be? What would your body language be? What would your facial expression be if you had the opportunity to do this again? Take your next big breath. We'll take one more big breath together. Just step out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, even lie all the way back down, and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you one more time a few thoughts by Neil Donald Walsh today. He says, what you hope, you will eventually believe. What you believe, you will eventually know. What you know, you will eventually create. What you create, you will eventually experience. What you experience, you will eventually express. What you express, you will eventually become. This is the formula for all of life. What we continue expressing is what we become. He says, you are the creator of your reality. And life can show up in no other way for you than the way in which you think it will. He says, this is all a question of perception. When you change your perception, when you change how you see, when you change how you think, then the world around you starts responding differently too. By changing your perception, your awareness, and your actions, you create yourself new again and again. The truth is, when we show up differently in the world, then the world does react differently to us. And this is a responsibility we can take on. The responsibility to do exactly what we did in today's meditation. Take a look at the last day or two or week. See where there's room for improvement. And then practice. Actually sit down and do the mental rehearsal. Create the image in your mind of what your new response will be. Because your brain doesn't really know the difference. If you can see it happening in your mind, then to your brain, it's real. Because your brain has to build the exact same neural pathways to visualize it as it would to actually do it. What an amazing body and brain you have. We'll take the last 5 breaths of gratitude together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this quiet space. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to look at myself through the eyes, the lenses of naked awareness. The ability to just see what is there without making it good or bad, right or wrong. The ability to just take it all in. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having built a truckload of acceptance for this human that I see when I look at me. With all my flaws, all the bad habits, everything I still sometimes do wrong. Thank you for all the acceptance. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning that acceptance and love is the necessary ingredient for me to actually look at everything. Because if what I felt was shame and guilt, I wouldn't be able to see all of it. I would be trying to look away. Thank you for learning that the love and the acceptance and the kindness is what enables me to look at every part of me and then still go, here is something I think I can do better. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for learning how to open your arms to all of you. Every part of you, learning how to see every little bad habit with an endearing kind of acceptance as well. We're so often afraid that if we have acceptance for how bad we are, then we won't make changes. That if we want to make changes, we're going to need to be at least somewhat critical and judgmental. I do want to remind you that your criticism and judgment only serves to make you see less of what's there. Because how can you see everything if a part of you also wants to look away? A lot of love for each and every one of you. Thank you, somebody. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Linda. Jason, it's cool to see you pop in. Good morning. Have a beautiful day. See you all again soon. Ciao, ciao.